After giving 20 interviews, I feel like I'm at a space where I can actually tell and talk about or give some tips about how to actually ace any interview. Firstly, congratulations for getting an interview because I know how hard it is to get to this stage, and it is difficult for any international student in particular. I'm just going to start with my first point. So firstly, you need to research the company. So understand the history, the values that they are providing, the products and services that they're selling, what year they were established in. And I will just suggest that prepare like a little, list of your own of questions and kind of ask yourself that, and mainly prepare like whatever they're doing right now, what will you change or do differently once you join that company. And also being familiar with the company kind of like shows genuine interest, and it actually helps kind of like tailor your answers, and it also gives the employer an idea that your goals are aligning with the company. My next point is going to be researching the industry. So along with researching the company, you also need to research the industry, and especially with like its recent news or trends, and it will just give you like the basic idea of what's going on in that industry, and it will help you prepare your answers in a very particular way. Then the third point is to understand the role. Now this is so important, and you just need to carefully kind of read the job description and identify like key responsibilities from that job description. So what I did is I basically just copied the job description into a Word document, and I kind of like run through it like 15 to 20 times before the interview whenever I was preparing. And I also highlighted the key responsibilities in that job description, and whenever I was preparing an answer, I made sure to kind of include those key responsibilities or those keywords into my answer. And this kind of gives an employer an idea that she's speaking the right thing, like whatever we need, she's fitting in the requirements. With this, you also need to kind of practice what you've done till now and how it is aligning with that particular job description. The fourth thing that I'm going to talk about is practicing common questions. So whenever an interview starts, it always starts with the first question and the main one, which is tell me something about yourself. So to answer this, I've already made another video where I've talked about this. I will link it over here and you can watch it. And along with this, they also ask other questions like what your strengths and weaknesses are, and why do you really want to work here? That is also one of the main questions. So do practice all these questions, and this will not just help you in one particular interview, but all of the interviews that you give. And do not sound like rehearsed, sound confident, and maybe if it helps, then write those answers down or write the pointers down so it doesn't sound rehearsed. So if that helps you kind of like with those pointers, you can form those sentences on the spot, then do that, because you need to sound confident but not rehearsed. And I will also add another point in this, that whenever you're answering questions, give examples. This will kind of help the employer know that you have this kind of skills and experience, and it will just frame the answer in a better way, and you're not just kind of like be diplomatic and kind of answer the kind of theoretic questions, and you're actually incorporating practical what you've actually experienced in those answers as well. The fifth point is using the STAR method. So for competency-based questions, when the employer asks you situations or give you situations and then you have to answer based on that, you can actually use the STAR method, which stands for situation, task, action, and result. So this kind of helps you structure the answer in a way. So when the employer asks you the questions or the situations, you can firstly give like what the situation was, what your task was in that situation, what actions you took, and then what the outcome was or the results were. So that kind of helps you to prepare like a very clear and concise answer, and you just being to the point and not just like kind of blabbering around. So yeah, do use the STAR method, and it's kind of really important with the employers as well. So they do notice these simple small things. Then once the interview is done, do ask questions to the employer or the interviewer. This is really important, because this shows that you are genuinely interested in that kind of job. And it doesn't really give an impression when you don't have any questions. It just feels like, okay, you're just doing just to give an interview, you're not actually interested in it. But when you ask really like nice questions, and for example you can ask like questions about the role, about the team, about the culture of the company. My kind of question is always like what my day-to-day life look like, or what my days will look like in the office. So that is one of the questions. I also ask like questions based on the team, what the team does, how many people are there in the marketing team, what are their individual roles, and all of that. And in this, please do not mention anything about the salary. Don't ask any questions related to salaries, because it's just not the right time and not the right place. You will have like a negotiation call once you get selected, and then you can actually like discuss salaries and everything, but it is just not the right time to kind of ask anything about the salary. And yeah, now I'm going to talk about the main thing, which is talking. So I've said this in my other videos as well, but basically while talking, be confident and don't be nervous. And to tackle the nervousness, my main kind of tip for you would be that talk to the employer just like you're meeting like a new friend, and they're just kind of getting to know you, what you've done, and what your expertise are, what your skills are, and stuff like that. And where does this nervousness come from? It's mainly when you're kind of thinking, will I get this job? Will I not get this job? Your kind of mind is kind of playing with you at that time, and you don't need that. You should have like a tunnel vision. You should just give your best. Feel like this is do or die situation. You need to put your best foot forward at that time, in that interview, and kind of just portray like you are the expert, and you should be extremely confident about it and about yourself. So do have that tunnel vision, and if you think like that, if you just concentrate and focus on that particular interview and the questions that they're going to ask, I think you will be ready to kind of ace it. And also many interviews are very informal, and not just like formal interviews are basically when just the employer is just asking you questions and you're answering them, and it's just like move on to the next question. In an informal interview, it's basically like when the employer asks you questions, you answer it, and then the employer kind of adds on to that answer, and it's more of like a conversation than interrogation. So that makes a huge difference, and that definitely conquers like my nervousness. Like I definitely get over it when an interview is like informal, because obviously it helps. It's more of like, you're just like meeting a friend. It's just like that. And if there's a point where you don't understand the question that the employer has asked you, you can ask them to repeat it or elaborate it or give some examples of what they're actually trying to say. So just that, you're on the same page and you understand the question before answering, because you don't want to like kind of just answer anything random and not the actual answer to the question that they've asked. And if you feel like you need like 2 minutes to answer or frame it in your mind to answer the question, then you can definitely ask the employer that can you give me like 2 minutes to answer this, and they will be happy to do it. Do not think that it's embarrassing or anything when you ask them for 2 minutes, because as long as you're answering the question right and the way they want it to be, I think you're fine, and you can definitely take those 2 minutes, especially for questions like where you need to use the STAR method. so you can actually put those situations in, think about a situation, think about what your task was, and do not make up anything, because it will come out and the interviewer will know. And now I'm just going to talk about like the general tips. So obviously, like, be punctual, be there to the interview 10 to 15 minutes before, and if it's a virtual interview, then be like 5 minutes before, join the call and everything. And also dress like smart casuals or formals based on how big of the company it is, or you will like generally understand what to wear based on what company it is. So but lean towards smart casuals and formals, because they are the best to go in an interview. Then also maintain like a nice body language, positive body language. Don't sit with like a hunched back and everything like that. Be like kind of very confident and maintain a good eye contact, because that's really, really important. You don't want to like, yeah, so I did this and my expertise are this. Like, you don't want to kind of look somewhere else. Look into the eyes of the employer, and if there are like multiple people, then kind of always look into each of the eyes. Lastly, I'm going to talk about the follow-up. So usually the employer mentions that they will get back to you within 2 days or within a week, or they will mention like a specific period. So if they don't get back to you in that particular time, then after that you can definitely email them with a follow-up that I'm emailing regarding the interview that we had, and I just want to follow up since I haven't heard back from you. And yeah, that's like very simple follow-up message, and then just wait for it. So lastly, I'm just going to again say that be confident, be you, be yourself. That's the main thing. And like I said, put your best foot forward. You need to give it all. It's like a do or die situation. This is your time to shine, so just go and kill it. So that's it for this video, guys. I really, really hope this video helped you, and I am going to make a video on how to face rejections, because I've faced many. I'm definitely going to make that video in the future. So yeah, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.